All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some very quick sports updates. And that's that's about it, folks. We'll talk a little bit about the Halloween holiday that came up and went. And then I have a question for you guys. I need a little help here. That's also part of the Junction with the Halloween stuff. So I'll ask it then. All that plus a Cage fact coming up right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to the Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, the show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons in everything. We have a good time doing it. I am dealing with tech issues galore right now. We had a power outage last night. Big storm came in, knocked the power out for a few minutes. And then earlier today, when I wanted to record initially, we had internet outage. And we're running right now on backup internet. So not only is my normal Zoom recording situation unreliable, but it's also now no longer picking up my phone as a camera option for the video feed. So I'm just recording on my phone here. If you're watching in YouTube land, you can see I don't have my mic in front of me. I'm working with the Bluetooth clip-on mic I have that's connected to my phone. So the audio is going to be a little jacked up. The video is going to be a little different. I hope the battery in the phone lasts long enough for all this to, this whole episode to record properly. That's what we're dealing with when you're working, I guess, what I would call a minor league operation here on the tech side. Now, I have all the information I need to upgrade my tech, but it is lower on the priority of purchases right now. We're going to make it work with the phone. And most of you are going to tune into this, whether you're watching or just listening, and it's not going to be much different. That's because we don't need the high-tech stuff, the super expensive high-tech stuff all the time. Those are just nice-to-haves. And that's what I'd like to get to eventually, but it's certainly not one of those things that I'm going to be doing right now. I really don't need to. I might get a new webcam because I'm going to be doing a lot more live stuff, specifically more so for Spearhead. We already talked about the possible Yankee streams, but I want to be doing a lot more live. I don't know. I haven't started it yet. Maybe I'll just start it and just see what happens on the Spearhead side. Just go on YouTube Live on Spearhead's a YouTube page throughout the day and just exist. I'll be doing my work. I'll be hopefully taking questions of people in the chat. The only problem is during the day, a lot of people are working. They're not going to be tuning into lives often. So I'm getting all in my head about, overanalyzing and trying to create a perfect scenario, which is, I'm using that as an excuse to not start. It's like, oh, well, what am I going to sit here in silence if I don't have anything to say, if I don't have a topic picked? The goal eventually is for people to just start asking questions. But in the meantime, I got to figure out what I'm going to talk about and how long I want to do it for. I want to put out more content of value, and I want it to be in a manner that people can interact. I want people to be able to interact to get even more value out of what I'm doing. So I know the live is a good way to do it. We have the hotline here for the LPDS, but it's not. It's nice. I love it, but it's not live interaction. It's voicemails I'm listening to, and nobody's been using it for a while, so that's not great either. 202-670-1114 is that number, by the way, in case just in case you forgot. But feel free to call that in. Anyway, so I want to be able to interact with people more and hit the audience I'm looking for on the Spearhead side, and hit home for them. Be like, I want them to be like, oh, this is the person who's going to be able to help me get over the hurdles I'm dealing with right now. So stay tuned for that. Long story longer, I'm going to be getting at least a nice webcam similar to this one I have. If you're looking in YouTube land, I'm popping it up on the screen now. It's from my part-time job. It's low quality. It's a cheap version, so I don't use it. So I want to get a similar version of that, except a higher end, and they're not terribly expensive. So I'm going to be doing that. And I got to figure out a way to be able to mount it on a specific type of tripod so that I can also do like those Yankee game streams that I was talking about when the season kicks up again next year. So I can put that in the living room so I can watch the game and then stream to the people and do a little bit of a fun broadcast kind of thing like that. So content is, I want to be doing more of it, but I'm in a bit of a catch-22 situation where in order for me to do more of it at a quality level, I can't be doing it all solo. It's too time consuming for me to come up with the topics or whatever it is, the idea, set it all up, do all the tests and make sure the tech and everything is good to go, record it all, then edit, then do clips and market for it and all the back end stuff. It gets to be too much to the point where it becomes something I try, you end up wanting to avoid almost. There have been times in the past where I didn't want to record LPDS that week because I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do all this extra stuff. So I like the idea of content. I don't mind putting myself out there. I'm not doing it for ego or anything. I just enjoy doing it. It's a great way for me to connect to people. And I also like the idea of just having that stuff out there so that, people can come back and look. Maybe my family or something can come back and look and be like, this is what Libretti was like back in this timeline or this timeline or this timeline. I'm creating my own family videos right now until I have my own family. So you guys are my family. So I'm doing this for you, doing this for me. Long story longer, again, I keep saying that phrase. I enjoy content in some way, shape, or form. To be funny, stupid, silly, just to have fun with it, to just engage with others in some way, shape, or form, or even virtually, I enjoy that. And to be able to do it more so is the goal, especially if I can provide value to people on the Spearhead side and maybe even draw a business from it too as well. That's obviously the pie in the sky goal. So I'm going to be trying to figure out ways to do more of it in an appropriate amount of time. Because right now I can't expand out as much as I want to without hiring people or outsourcing editing and this and that and stuff I don't have the financial capability to do right now. And this is not me crying poor or anything like that. It's me being mindful of that. I'm not going to put myself in mountains of debt for something like this because I can provide value without being, short-term stupid as well. I can do both here. So that's the plan anyway. The goal is show up, record, see you later. Sometime later that day or that week, that content pops up on the internet for everybody. And I just have to show up in front of the camera, do my thing, and be done with it. And then it pops up. Then you get clips, more clips on the LPDS and the Spearhead page. You get videos, you get live streams, whatever it is, and it all looks really nice and buttoned up, and there's no tech or audio issues, or at least there's not as many, and we don't have to have this conversation nearly as much anymore. So stay tuned because that's going to come. And to everybody who may doubt me, keep the doubt coming. Please let me know if you do, because I want to add you to the list of motivation so I can come back when I'm big and famous and rich beyond my wildest dreams, and I can come back to that list and just a gentle reminder. No, I won't hold the grudge, but I just want to show you, hey, remember this? Beat you. You were wrong. So, anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Very quickly, I'm not really paying attention to the World Series. I'm going to be honest. I've checked the stats and the highlights on the internets. That's about it. It doesn't interest me. On one hand, I want the Blue Jays to win. And who knows, by the time you guys actually listen to this, it could be over. One hand, I want the Blue Jays to win because I hate the Dodgers. Tired of the Dodgers winning. I don't care about them. I just don't like them. Simple as that. On the other hand, though, if the Dodgers win back-to-back, it is an additional... what's the word I'm thinking of? Not data point, but an additional piece of evidence to confirm that what the Yankees are doing is not the way to win World Series. Because, like I mentioned before, the Dodgers play the analytics game throughout the regular season. They focus on slightly different numbies to care about, but they still focus on the analytics throughout the season. And then the postseason, they adjust fires. They might still go by analytics, but they go by a playoff sample size, things that matter in the playoffs in that particular environment, which is very different from the regular season. And then they adjust, and then they play real baseball. I'm a broken record with that. The Yankees don't do that. And Cashman continues to put out this bullshit that we got a good process, I believe in the process, blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. If the Dodgers win, it's another kind of hole in his BS argument. Not that they'll change, not that they'll actually do anything about it, but it'll be harder and harder for that moron, that money-grubbing little weasel, to get away with saying that the process works, don't worry, we got to figure it out. Because his process stinks. It doesn't work. And every other team that continues to win World Series are proving that point. So, but again, it's not going to do anything. He's not going to actually change Cashman. So so at the end of the day, I really just don't want the Dodgers to win. That's it. The reason why I would want them to win is not going to matter anyway, because Cashman's a hard-headed, stubborn, ignorant loser who very much needs spearhead leadership, but his ego will never allow him to admit that. So it's all for naught. Blue Jays. I want the Blue Jays to win. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, the Giants. Have to talk about the Giants very quickly for the football fans out there. I am not angry at the Giants, or I don't have a dread as I normally do when the Giants lose after their collapse against the Broncos. And here's why. There was still a lot of things done by the offense, specifically Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, against the Broncos throughout the entire game, that still gives me that hope, which I have not had in a long time. They still got a lot of work to do on offense, specifically the offensive line. Jackson Dart is not going to be able to scramble that often and succeed as much as he is right now. They need to get better. So that's a problem that they need to fix. If you're not tracking, the Giants were up 28-6 with 5 minutes left in the game, and lost the game. They lost. Okay? So, on one hand, absolutely embarrassing collapse. Everyone's calling for everybody to get fired, this and that and the other thing. But on the other hand, there's still promise. The problems that caused the Giants to lose that game are the same, but the promise is there more so than it has been. Last year, the year prior, there was no chance. You looked at the team, you're like, same old Giants. They stink. Now you look at them, you're like, the Giants stink. They still have a terrible offensive line. Their defensive secondary is absolute dog shit. Their GM doesn't even actually draft middle defensemen of any kind. Inside linebackers, middle defensive linemen, whatever it is. That's why the problem is there, because the GM stinks. He also needs to go. So on that one hand, the Giants still stink. Bad offensive line, terrible defense. When there's 5 minutes or less in the first half or in the game, their defense just takes a nap. They're the worst defense in the history of football during those time windows. Anytime there is a 2-minute drill against the Giants, the other team is probably looking at it themselves and like, thank God we're going to win this game, because the Giants defense is the worst in NFL history during this time frame when the game's on the line. But at least now you can look and be like, well, we have a seemingly decent quarterback right now, a good rookie with a lot of upside. We got a lot of young players on the offensive side with a lot of upside. Cam Skattebo, or as JPL3 calls him, Scatbo. So there's that. What do they do about the defense? I think they have to fire the defensive coordinator and every coaching staff member that's on the defensive side. They need to get rid of the GM and get a new one. Whoever's in charge of drafting players and picking players for the team, that person's got to go. That team has to go. Goodbye. Brian Daboll has to be better at picking offensive play calls. I don't know if he's picking it or if the offensive coordinator is picking it, but if I could predict the play, it's not a good pick. Okay? If I know what their offense is going to do each play and each down, not good. I'm not a football guy. So that needs to change. The fact that... What the hell was I going to say? I don't know. The kicking situation is an absolute nightmare. There are 70-plus elite-level kickers in college these days. Okay? Colleges find kickers from all over the world now. They can average 60-yard kicks, yet the Giants have some of the worst kicking in the last 10 years, bar none. Okay? A lot of people go back and look at the game against the Broncos and say, well, the kicker lost the game. He missed 2 extra points, which, if you don't pay attention to football, the extra point is after a touchdown. It's a free point, basically. It's a chip shot for the kicker to kick it through the uprights. A chip shot. 25 yards or something like that. 20 yards, whatever it is. He can't do it. They got a backup kicker because their one kicker, Graham Gano, is hurt again. Also breaking the Guinness Book of World Records for the most injuries to a kicker. How is a kicker getting injured that much, you ask? I don't have the answer to that. Nobody does. He's a kicker. He doesn't even get touched. If somebody touches him on the other team, they get a penalty. How is he getting hurt every single year for weeks at a time? Get rid of him. He's obviously too old. His muscles and bones are too frail to still be a kicker and succeed. Get rid of him and go find an actual good kicker. Don't make me try out. Okay? Because I will if I have to. I don't want to. I don't want to go back up and live in New Jersey. It's too expensive. It's cold in the winter. It's the most densely populated state in the country. It's run by absolute morons. Why would I want to live there right now? But don't make me come out of kicking retirement to fix the problem. Yeah, again, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, they would have won if they had those 2 kicks. Yeah, there was a lot of other issues with the team, but that's the point of having a good kicker. When the rest of the team stinks, or if you're playing a good team and the game's on the line, this should be automatic. Extra points should be automatic. You should have never had to worry about this game being that close in the first place if you got these extra points. Now the Giants have to adjust their entire play calling. Well, they have to do that for other reasons, but because they know, we're technically in field goal range, but this guy stinks. Our kickers stink. So we have to adjust and take a chance and miss out on points now. Potentially miss out on points because of it. So they got to figure that shit out. It was an absolutely embarrassing loss to a team that they were killing. They were dominating the entire game. There's no reason for that loss. But I don't think it's as easy as it has been in the past where you just look and you're like, oh, this is just the Giants stinking. I don't know. That's all I got to say about that, really. I don't want to. That's it. I'm not a football guy. I don't know ball, so I can't dive deeper into it. I'm just using my peepers to watch the game and see, oh, the defense stinks. The kicker stinks. The offense is predictable. The offensive line stinks. That's what I see. It's pretty obvious. I don't know how the team doesn't see it or doesn't do anything about it, but whatever. I know that they always say, that's why they get paid the big bucks to figure this stuff. Well, they haven't figured it out in over 10 years. So maybe they're just as stupid. Maybe they're just as stupid and uneducated and incapable of holding that job as I am, a guy who's never played football before, besides in the schoolyards and what have you. So, I don't know. Now that's all I got to say about that. Let's just move on. I don't know how much longer we have before the tech craps out on us here, folks. So I apologize if it does crap out. We're going to get through it. We're going to figure it out. Anyway, let's get to the good stuff, and we'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by the Recliner-Rator. This is going to suck. Summer is over, and it sit inside and be a fat piece of shit season is upon us. But your all-day couch potato sessions in front of the TV keep getting interrupted because you have to get up and walk to the fridge to get another beer and another snack, and it's really killing the buzz. Well, have no fear, because Vandelay Industries has just come out with the all-new Recliner-Rator lounge chair today. The Recliner-Rator is a specially designed recliner that comes fully equipped with cup holders, a slot for your Zyn tins, a foldable snack tray, a pantry, a mini fridge, and a mini microwave. So now you can sit back, relax, and watch every episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives without ever having to hit pause to restock on your snacks. So to equip your man cave with a Recliner-Rator today, visit www.lazyfuck.com. And if you use the promo code Summer of George, you get 29% off your Recliner-Rator. Stinks. Anyway, the Cage fact. Right now, Nicolas Cage is in the UK filming his latest movie, Fortitude. We talked about this previously. This is the movie about the true story, or based on a true story, of the British spy in World War II. This is a real guy who they say they based the James Bond character off of. And now the director of Con Air is directing this movie, and Nic Cage is that spy, that guy. forgot his name in real life, but Nic Cage is playing that guy. That's been confirmed, apparently. So he's in the UK filming, and instead of just relying on the craft services table, the food table, just having like the catering come in like Hollywood usually does, Nic Cage noticed that the people of Britain like this particular this brand called Greggs. I don't know what they make. British food. It's probably not great food. Probably beans and white bread and celery sticks. And that's their breakfast. But they love Greggs brand. So Nic Cage has had Greggs food shipped in to the set, or brought in, trucked in to the set, so that the crew, the behind the scenes crew they're all British people, can get their Greggs fix, their pastries and their snacks and their food, whatever it is that Greggs makes. Nic Cage is the one who got it done. He said, no, I don't want the standard Hollywood shit. These people like Greggs. Greggs sucks. Greggs, it's British mush. Their cuisine is not good. Like, you get a British pasty, a meat pie, like, it's fine. It's not bad, but it's vanilla. It's bland. There's no spice to it. There's no pizzazz. There's no nothing to it. You can make that argument for American cuisine. Yeah, I got it. We just fatify everything. We just take everything that was good in other cultures and turn it into whatever the fattest piece of shit version of it is. Think of, pizza, stuffed crust, cheesy bread, garlic knots that are really just like fat bomb. Like, we just turn everything to fatso food. I got it. I'm not here to say American cuisine is better by any stretch of the term, but universally speaking, objectively speaking, British fare is nothing. It's peasant food. I don't know what the royal family actually eats in Britain. I imagine they have a cuisine that's very different from regular UK, regular England, because that's how it was historically. The royals got all the good shit, and the rest of the country they created their culture and cuisine off of what they were able to afford and what they were provided, which was peasant shit. So that's what they have. The royal family, with all their, money and riches and pedos and all that stuff that they got, they have a different. I don't know what the British cuisine is for the royal family. We may never know. It's children. I don't know. But to the public, the British cuisine is for peasants. Historically, it's peasant food. It's a bunch of meat and vegetables and like a phyllo dough, like a crust that they just mash together, and this is a meat pie. It's just whatever we had in our house that we were able to scrounge up, we just put it in one crock pot, one big pan or whatever, and cooked it together. Because we're peasants, we're paupers. I got it. No judgment. I'll eat it. I'll eat a British pasty. I'll eat a meat pie. But you look at all the things that they like for each course, each meal of the day, it's peasant food. Beans and white bread for breakfast, that's peasant shit. That's what it is. And as long as you can own it, like, again, it's not saying you stink, you're inferior, but that's just what your cuisine is. It's for peasants. It's by peasants for peasants, and you created your culture around it, your traditions around it. It's just not creative, that's all. The Italians have peasant food too. They're just a little bit more creative with it. They eat, a lot of breads, a lot of food that was invented for poor people as just it was just for calories. Just we need to eat. So bread and whatever meat. And then they took that meat and they made meatballs. They put it in sausage skin. They seasoned it. They took the bread and the dough and they made spaghetti. Actually, I think noodles were created in Asia, but and then they took their tomatoes that they had in their farms, and instead of just plopping it on a plate like I'm sure a British person would do, they made sauce out of it. And then they mixed it with the meatballs, and now you got a nice little dish there, okay? It's just a little more creativity, a little more artistry going on with the cuisine. And also, too, there is no secret royals cuisine. We got it all now. You can have a peasant meal in Italy and then also a royal style meal. They have the whole spectrum there for everybody to enjoy. England is not that way. I find it hard to believe that the royal family is sitting there eating beans and white bread for breakfast and kind of saying like, this is a great meal right here. I love this shit. I'm royal. I'm the richest person in the world. I'm the most powerful. I'm a king. I'm a queen, whatever. I'm going to eat canned baked beans and white bread. They're not doing that. But they're keeping it from the regular British people. And their entire cuisine evolved from that to the point now where you have Greg's packaged beans and white bread and packaged British pasties and packaged biscuits and whatever bullshit they got. And Nic Cage saw that and he's like, I hate this stuff. But these people love it, and I'm Nic Cage. Okay, he's a man of the people. They call him the great one for a reason. They call him the best to ever do it for a reason. And this is why. He saw that and he's like, look, I'm going to sacrifice my palate for these people. They're working their dicks off to put on a good production. I'm going to give them what they want. If they want shit, I'm going to give them shit. Fine by me. It's no skin off of my Italian nose. And that's what he did. Man of the people. And that's the Cage fact. All right, moving on over to the Junction. What time we got? Actually, if I'm looking in the camera right now because I'm using my phone camera to record my video, I can actually see a timer on it, which is great. So, move it over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. Again, I don't have much here. Halloween is this week. I was going to dress up for this episode. I was actually going to dress up as Joseph, Nic Cage's character in his new horror Jesus movie coming out pretty soon here. But I spent too much time dealing with this technical stuff on the back end that I was just kind of fed up and I didn't put the wig and the sheet on. It was really just a wig and a white sheet or blanket or whatever. I should have done it, but I didn't, so that's on me. But Halloween is this week. Now, here's the thing. I'm filming this before Halloween. You guys may or may not tune into this after Halloween. Who knows? Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about how it actually goes for me on Halloween. But I don't want to give out candy this year. And it's not because I don't like Halloween. It's not because I don't like giving out candy historically. And it's, if anyone wants to call me out, for years and years and years, I've been getting on the Halloween episodes of the LPDS talking about how I want people to come to my house so I can give them candy, and nobody ever showed up for years and years and years. And finally, I got kids, and now I don't want them. And it's not because I don't want them ever to come and do Halloween stuff anymore. It's because the particular clientele in my specific neighborhood, I hate them. I hate them. They're not the kids in my neighborhood. Okay? I have a really nice little community here. Unfortunately, it's an HOA That's a problem I'm trying to take care of myself because I hate HOAs. They're a scam. But the people within that HOA community, great people. It's usually older crowd, as I mentioned, or young families. Those are not the problems. It is the people that don't live on my street, in my community, that come from the outskirts in. I say outskirts, just outside of the community. It's not gated, so they can just walk across the street into the confines of our HOA jurisdiction, if you will. Now, I have a neighbor, at the other end of the street. He attracts people from different neighborhoods over here because he does a whole setup in his front yard on his driveway. It's like a little mini haunted house. People come and they check it out. They walk around and they hang out, and everybody flocks to that house. And he sits out there with his wife, and they have a good time. It's fun. It looks awesome. Every year he puts on a grand show, a grand performance. But it brings everybody from other neighborhoods over. And the people we end up having in this neighborhood are selfish and rude and disrespectful, and people I don't want to waste my money on for candy, my time having to stop my programs to get up and go to the door, and then also have my efforts dealing with Randy barking and wanting to be a part of the action all the time. I have to go put him in the crate, get the tub of candy, bring it out to deal with these ungrateful little bastards. And it's not their fault. I'm not blaming the kids. I blame the parents. Because you have these young kids out there and they're shoveling in, handful. Each kid is trying to take the entire thing of candy in one shot. And I can only do so much. It's not my kid. Okay? I can only say so much, like, hey, only one handful. I'm generous, like one handful per kid, even though it should just be one piece of candy per kid. But that's all I can say. Hey, fella, just one handful. We got a whole lot of other kids in the neighborhood that want to get candy too, so. And you got a whole bunch of other houses, so. That's all I can do. After that, I rely on the parents to be parents. And say, hey, Joey, hey, Michelle, don't be inconsiderate little shitheads. One handful, put the rest back, let's go to the other house. No, what are they saying? Like, oh, yeah, my kid, he loves candy. That's what you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with my kid grabbing all the candy. No, I'm not going to deal with it. Okay? You're going to deal with it. I'm going to close the door. Okay? Because if I have to, I'll invoke the quote-unquote, this is my property clause of I'm going to do whatever the hell I need to do to get these kids off my property and to get you off my property too as a shitty parent. And you're not going to like when I invoke that clause because you're going to have to deal with the repercussions. And I don't care if you get the cops involved because I'm going to be legally within my right to do so. So you're going to double lose. And I have the time to deal with it all. Okay, if you think I'm sitting here like I don't want the cops getting called, I have to deal with filing a report and investigation and this and that. No. I'm praying for it. Okay? If you can't parent your kids and deal with it, and handle it responsibly like an adult and teach your kids how to be considerate and polite, then I'm going to have to do it for you because you're on my property. And you're not going to like the way I have to do it. You're just not. So instead of putting them, I'm giving them sort of one more chance here. Instead of putting them through that, I'm just not giving out candy this year to this neighborhood. Maybe I'll go up to Creatures, bring my candy and Randy up there and give out candy to those kids, see how they are. Maybe they'll be more grateful and considerate. But I'm giving them a chance. I'm giving them, an out here. Instead of me having to invoke "you're on my property" clause, I'm just gonna not give out candy. Maybe I have to put out a sign that says "sorry, no candy," here. I'm not home. I don't know what I have to do. Turn the light off. I'm still a little bit nervous about turning the porch light off because I grew up in the Northeast in New Jersey where they had mischief night and vandals, and they would go around look for the houses that didn't have the lights on to do their vandalism. And these people that are so ungrateful and inconsiderate with their bad parents, those are the type of people who would also vandalize and TP my house and do all that stuff as well. Throw eggs at my car and crap like that. So, but apparently Texas doesn't know about Mischief Night. I know I've talked about this in years past about the whole Mischief Night thing, but apparently it's not a thing outside of the Northeast, I guess. So I'm still indoctrinated. I'm still brainwashed into the idea of like, oh, if I turn my porch light off, mischief's going to happen. So I got to figure out something, because I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to spend my money giving out candy to ungrateful people. And unfortunately, the grateful and considerate ones are going to suffer for it, because I give out good candy. Because in the chance that nobody shows up or not, all the candy is gone, I'm not throwing it away. I spent money on it. So it's got to be good candy that I like. So you're going to get the goods. I don't skimp out on that crap. I'm not like JPL3 who gives out store brand Tootsie Rolls. Not even Tootsie Roll brand. The store brand version. I forgot what they're called. Shit logs. Chocolate shit logs from ShopRite. He gives those out. You're going to get good candy here, but you're losing that privilege. Because you're an inconsiderate little shit. Not your fault. You're just a kid. It's your parents' fault. Your parents are not good parents. This is such an easy opportunity to teach a lesson to your kids. And I know, you don't understand. You're not a parent. You don't get it. I get it. I'm not a parent. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass and blah, blah, blah. This seems like, from every angle of my research and experience being a babysitter, watching my niece and nephew, seeing how my parents raised us, seeing how my sister raises her kids, this seems like a very simple, easy opportunity to teach your kids a very learnable lesson. Hey, say please and thank you. Take one piece of candy. Move on. And if they don't listen, you take them home. You discipline them. I know that's the tough part when you have a kid, because it taps into the emotional side. Now you feel bad, like, my kid's now crying or whatever, and I'm the cause of him crying. If you can't handle that stuff, then don't be a parent. And I know I'm going to keep catching shit from the parents out there. You just don't understand. You're not a parent. You say that now, but you don't have kids and then tell me how easy it is. I'm not saying it's easy. That's why I'm not a parent yet, because I'm not equipped to be able to be an effective, good parent just yet. I also don't have a significant other to do that with. I'm not saying it's easy at all. But when there's this is an easy opportunity. Right here, right now is a very easy opportunity for you to take to be a better parent, to parent your kids better. And it's low threat. It's low risk. Yeah, they might get annoyed and get angry, but it's not going to crush their dreams for the rest of eternity. Okay? It's a simple lesson. Hey, say please. Take one piece of candy, say thank you. Don't be selfish. There are other kids. How would you feel if you go to the next house and there's no more candy left because the shithead ahead of you took it all? Now you're going to be crying either way. So blame your parents, kids in this neighborhood. Blame your parents for you not getting the best candy on the lot this year on the street. I've inspected the other houses. They give out okay candy. It's not the best. The best is here. The LPDS compound, and it's gone this year. Because I don't want to deal with your shit. So, I hate to say that too, because you know how I like Halloween. And you know how Halloween sets up the Holy Holiday Triumvirate in the LPDS universe. And you know how I feel about the Holy Holiday Triumvirate. It's the best time of year that's not summer for me. You know, I'm a warm weather guy. But when we're talking about non-seasonally focused things, like Christmas is not Christmas because it's winter. It just happens to be in winter. Same with Thanksgiving. And, you know, it's not like, oh, it's winter time. We have to schedule these particular winter style holidays. No, it's fall, winter, and this is why I like this time of year, not because of the weather and the season. Okay? I love summer much better. But these holidays are great. This makes me okay with dealing with winter and cold weather and shit, because I know at the very least we got Halloween, we got Hallmark Christmas movies galore, we got John Denver music blasting on the radio all winter long, with the Christmas music kind of alternating it back and forth. A really good timeline. If you can ask my sister too, I listen to John Denver all year round because I got to get my fix, but John Denver historically in the Libretti family has been an autumn CD that my mom would pop in. Once Labor Day hits, she takes out whatever the hell she was listening to, Celine Dion or some shit. She pops in JD, John Denver, JDD. And it's John Denver till, you know, you start easing in. As you get towards Thanksgiving, you start mixing in John Denver at home, Christmas music on the radio in the car. And then Thanksgiving hits, and for me, it's basically Christmas throughout the rest of the time. So we're talking Hallmark Christmas movies, all the other actual Christmas shows and movies, Rudolph, Grinch, Frosties, you know, all that shit. All throughout the rest. That's what I do. That's what's on. Halloween has Garfield's Halloween, probably the best Halloween cartoon of all the Halloween shows and cartoons out there. You could say Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin Caper, whatever it's called. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's great. But if you haven't seen Garfield's Halloween, you're missing out. It might be on Disney Plus, but I have a CD, so I'm ready to rock and roll, just in case there's no streaming service that offers it. So it pains me to have to remove myself from something I enjoy doing so much, being part of Halloween. Like I said, you know, I've said this a bunch of times. When I'm rich, I want to create a whole haunted house adventure for people around my property for Halloween and give out the best candy and be out there and scare people and we have a good time. It's awesome. That's what I want. But I'm not putting the LPDS community through that. I'm not putting Randy through that bullshit. I'm having to deal with completely rude, inconsiderate people who can't teach their kids simple manners. And sharing is caring. I feel like that's the second and third things you learn in life growing up from birth. The first thing is how to not shit your pants. Number one. Number two is manners. And sharing is caring. So what are these parents doing nowadays? Are you teaching your kids anything? Clearly not. Maybe just not shitting their pants, because I didn't see many of them with diapers. So I guess that's good. You just stopped after that. You stopped after potty training with your kids. Be better. Or send them to my 2-week boot camp. I've been begging my sister to send my nephew down here for 2 weeks in the summer for Uncle Johnny's boot camp. Okay? You want your kid to have manners and consideration and discipline. Send them to boot camp, 2 weeks. Okay? They'll be right as rain. That's for free for my nephew. Other people are going to have to pay. But I'll do it. If you can't figure out how to get your kids to say please and thank you and to not be a hog, a candy hog, give me 2 weeks. Okay? And they'll be right as rain. Or I'm going to call CPS on them. Because you screwed them up so badly that you can't be their parents anymore. If they can't go through boot camp and improve, that means you screwed up so badly as a parent that I for this kid's sake, I have to call CPS. You don't deserve them. So that's that. Anyway, while I watch Hallmark Christmas movies are the end of the night or weekend background stuff I have on all throughout the Holy Holiday Triumvirate. Most of the time I've seen the movies dozens of times. They're always on repeat. They'll have new ones at prime time days and times, like Friday, Saturday night is a new one, and then the rest are repeats all day, every day. But I also like to watch a show each triumvirate season, and historically, lately, it's been Gilmore Girls. We've talked about this many times in the past. Even I think we had Nikki Sticks on talking about it a couple years ago. Anyway, I'm trying to think of something else I can watch. Sopranos, I also alternate between, although I just finished watching Sopranos again because I had to get my fix. I couldn't wait to the triumvirate to do it. So that's lower on the list this year. The issue I'm running into is I might have mentioned this in the past before, I don't know, but I don't have a lot of time. I don't dedicate a lot of time to watching new movies and shows and focusing on them. Okay? When I say I don't watch a lot of TV, I don't pay attention to a lot of TV. The stuff that my TV's on a lot, but it's background noise. It's background music, whatever. It's stuff I've seen already, and I can focus on other things. I'll read, I'll make dinner, I'll play with the dog, I'll do Spearhead stuff, whatever it is. I'm a background noise guy. So I'll put on things that I don't have to pay attention to because I already know what's happening. Right now I got Reacher. All 3 seasons of Reacher, I must have watched them each 20 times, full through, because I just have it on. At the end of the night, it's background TV, turn the brain off, Reacher. Christmas time, like Holy Holiday Triumvirate time, Hallmark movies, background time. But earlier, while I'm eating dinner, I like to watch a show because now I'm just, I can do 2 things at once there. I can focus on eating dinner, but also pay attention to a show or a movie. So Gilmore Girls, I only watch around once a year. And because of that, I haven't watched it as much as Seinfeld or Sopranos or even Reacher or anything like that. So I still can pay attention and learn some new things and pick up on some new fun stuff about the show and what have you. I'm looking for another show to do that, but I'm hesitant to look for new movies or new shows because that requires my full undivided attention, and I don't like to dedicate that much time to that because it doesn't move the needle forward in my life. Okay? And I know people will say, well, that's your entertainment time. You can enjoy a little bit. My entertainment time, my enjoyment time is sticks with the gang. Actually, that kills two birds with one stone because I get to catch up and stay connected with my brothers in arms, the brotherhood, and we're sticksing. And we can shut our brains off and just do sticks. So my entertainment time each night or whatever throughout the week is already booked. So now this thing almost becomes like a chore of like, I'm certainly not going to sacrifice sticks time to watch a new show or movie. Unless it's with a significant other, which I'm not there yet. Step 1, find significant other. Step 2, have her take over your life and fight you on doing sticks all the time. Not there yet. So I'm not sacrificing sticks time for a new show or a new movies. So I need to find something that is either something I've seen in the past maybe once before or twice. So I have a basic idea already. Like Game of Thrones, I ripped through that very quickly while I was deployed because the final season was out and everyone was talking about it, so I just wanted to catch up. Maybe that, so I can actually pay attention a little bit more, but I also have a good idea already. Or it's gotta be, if it's a new show, it's something that doesn't take too much bandwidth to pay attention to. Like, for instance, Peacemaker. I like that show, Peacemaker, with John Cena. There's a new season out. I've seen the first season. Yeah, it's only been the second season's out now, yeah. That's a show that I can watch the new season for the first time, and it's not so super in-depth and serious, and you got to pay attention to make sure you remember this from the whatever. It's not that serious, not that in-depth. I can still kind of, but that's only one season. I need a whole show. So unfortunately, Peacemaker is not going to, it's only going to cut it for about, 3 days for me of doing that. So bottom line is, I'm looking for another show or maybe a long movie series like a Harry Potter's or something that is either new and easy to multitask and follow and enjoy, or something I've seen. So if you have a show, let me know, and I'll let you know if I've seen it. I'm not expecting you to know what I've seen, but just whatever you got, whatever you think might be a good show to watch, that's several seasons, and if you had to pick and choose, go with the show that's already done. Okay? I am not a fan of watching shows as they happen anymore. Okay? I got so pissed off, I finished the third season of Reacher and then found out like the show's not done yet. The series isn't over. They're doing more seasons. I hate that. Now I get to, I'm rewatching Reacher in the background because I'm addicted to it. I'm obsessed with it. But I don't normally like doing that. Same thing with Peacemaker. I got duped. I duped myself into thinking it was going to be a limited one-season series, like a mini-series thing. It's not. So I usually don't watch shows as they occur. I wait for the show to have a finale, a series finale, and then I'm binging. So if you have show ideas, lean towards the ones that are already complete. And let me know. And that's all I got to say about all of it. Before we go, very quickly, the big three, the 3 pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, be able to spread that positivity to all those around you and throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do one thing each and every day to improve your fitness and health physically, mentally, or emotionally. Either one of those. It doesn't have to be all of them every day, one of them each day. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person, be a kind person. Don't be negative. Don't invite negativity and chaos in your lives. It's already out there for us, outside of our control already, so why would we want to add more to that? Even if you think you're taking a jab at someone who deserves it, or you think you're helping the situation, you're not. Okay? I want to give out candy this Halloween and then rip the parents to shreds if they have a shithead kid. I would love to do that. But that does not help the situation at all. That gives me a millisecond of satisfaction and then immediate regret and guilt about being a shitty person and creating more shit. Because it's not going to help the situation. How many parents are going to take my shredding of them, my dressing down of them, and then being like, you know what, you're right. Sorry. Nobody's going to do that. So why would I create that situation? So I'm just not going to give out candy. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. And when you do that, you'll minimize the negativity going on in the land, in the world around you, and you'll allow yourself the capacity to go focus on more positive, productive things in your lives, like exercising. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And do this by thinking about one thing each day, or every time you try to get into a state of gratitude, just think about one thing at a time. It'll make it more impactful. If you try to think about everything at once, you're just like, you just take it for granted. So take the time to actively think about one good thing in your life or one good thing that happened to you in the last 24 hours, and think about how much worse off you would be without that thing or without that situation or without that person. And that'll right there, then and there, will put you in an immediate state of gratitude. And if you do all these 3 things a little bit each and every day, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, I promise you you'll become a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being. You'll be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends and enemies, and hit that hotline 202-670-1114. Call with a question, call with a comment, call with a joke, a bit you want to do, a troll job you want to do. Tell your enemies to call a number thinking that they're going to be able to, they're calling you, whatever it is. Call it up. I love the hotline. I missed the hotline. 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.